Hi everyone and welcome back. I hope that you are doing alright and surviving during this time as we have officially entered into Uranus Retrograde in Taurus, which is lasting from August 11th, 2019 until January 1st, 2020. So this transit will be accompanying us for the rest of the year throughout all of the other transits which will be occurring in 2019. We now have Uranus retrograde to add. I hope that you are not feeling as worried about some of the things that might have been cropping up for you earlier this year. This is a really great time as we are entering into the beginning of this retrograde to disconnect from any type of neurotic anxiety, any type of, unwarranted fears, unwarranted paranoias. We are also in Neptune retrograde as well until November. Coming out of Jupiter retrograde, it just went direct on August 11th as well, the same day that Uranus went retrograde. And soon, Saturn and Pluto will be direct in September. So everything else is kind of getting toward direct, and we have Uranus going back. A lot of back and forth this year of planetary action. And as I said in my quintuple retrograde video, when we had the 5 retrogrades over the summer, it is normal for all of the outer planets to go retrograde once per year. They do it once per year, so don't freak out too much. This is a normal, often transit that happens, Uranus retrograde. It is moving forward into Taurus, and this time it will not retrograde back into Aries. Thank goodness. This is going to make this Uranus retrograde a bit more slow and easy paced than the previous one that we had. So from what I'm understanding about this particular Uranus retrograde is that it's dealing a lot with vitality and value, where our vitality is coming from, energy sources, what we're using to create energy in our life. We are looking back on that and we are optimizing the way that we energize and the way that we create energy and vitality and vigor in our lives. This is a great blessing of this transit because, again, whenever we're talking about transit astrology, we have to take a lot of things into account. We have to take into account the planet and the traditional and contemporary interpretations of what that planet represents, the sign that it's retrograding in, which is Taurus in this case, and even the degrees of the retrograde as well. And in this case, they're at more of an early degree, so we're talking about some of the more initial concepts relating to the sign of Taurus. We are talking about the initial perception of value, the initial perception of style even, and attraction too. Taurus is a love sign, it is a Venus sign. So, and when we combine that with the idea of Uranus, which is innovation, Aquarian ideals, technology even, we are talking about the combination of all of these concepts. So innovating our love style, our love language, in a retrograde fashion. So looking back at our past love language, looking back at our past concepts of value, and invigorating and innovating what that is through this understanding. So over the next few months and the rest of 2019, really, we're going to have some type of reminiscence, I think. I'm feeling that we reminisce for the rest of this year about something, about where we've been. And we are also really forced by January of 2020 at the latest to have completely installed a new type of, what do I want to say? A new type of system in about how we go about value, love, invigoration of our lives, energy source. These types of things will need to have a bit of a paradigm shift, I think, and I think that a paradigm shift is inevitable with this particular Uranus transit, also having Neptune as well. All of the outer planets are doing very interesting things right now, and I've got some incredible new videos coming up about some new concepts that I've been seeing as well. So again, keep that subscribe button hit so you guys can see this content right when it comes out. We have to beware of keeping things too old, too ancient. At the same time, with the retrograde energy of Uranus, we have to beware of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, I guess is the saying that I think of. Again, as a lot of our spiritual methodology shows us, we have to find that middle point, that center point, that sweet point between not succumbing to worn out ways of coping, of finding value, of loving in our lives, while at the same time not avoiding the lesson by attacking something that is entirely too new as well. This is an interesting transit relating to lessons too. Taurus energy has a lot to do with some of the more instinctual lessons in life. We've just come out of Aries. We've come out of the pioneering, even domineering forward cardinal motion. We've moved into the fixed energy of Taurus. And we're combining that with the fixed energy of Aquarius as represented by Uranus. So I feel a lot of us to be too still for our own good, especially other fixed signs. If you have a lot of cardinal energy in your chart, you might have this a little bit easier. But we may be too fixated on something or too attached to a certain dream or vision for ourselves too. With Neptune retrograde in Pisces, the vision or the dream or the manifesting idea of what we think that our lives need, of how we think that we need to live. These types of things can set us back a little bit during this time. Another thing that Uranus and Taurus deals a lot with is money, actually. Debt, spending, budgeting, money, time, and energy. And going retrograde, we have to watch out. We have to watch out for impulsive spending. We also have Jupiter in Sagittarius, which can be an impulsive spend as well. So do beware of being over trigger happy with taking on debt, even selling things at too low of price, buying things at too high of price. You have to be very measured in how you acquire things right now, or how you change space, relating to money, finance, or time even. And it is just as much time as it is money too. This will get better by the time we get to October and Saturn has gotten direct into Capricorn. We can spend our time in irresponsible or just impulsive ways right now, spending too long on something and not getting a good payback for it, not investing enough time in something. We have to be very, not even connected to time, but connected to investing. The sign of Taurus and Uranus both deal with investing, and they're coming together in their retrograde. So we are looking back at how we've invested money, how we've budgeted money, how we've invested time, how we have budgeted our time. And is that okay? We're moving into an incredible Virgo stellium coming up soon as we get into late August and early September. How we spend, budget, categorize, organize, and optimize our time is going to be a huge thing. Huge thing. So it's really good here, especially if you're listening to this video in August, although this will be accurate throughout the entirety of 2019 and into early 2020. This video will have accuracy. But if you're hearing this in August, it's a really, really great time to be thinking about, what is my time going to? I also think, okay, yeah, I'm getting chills. Ooh, this is an important one. Okay, so Uranus and Taurus is also actually connecting us to ancestry as well. Value within ancestry. I'm feeling Ten of Pentacles energy, actually, for those of you who are tarot people. I'm feeling that there are certain things that are very important to get into order here. So things dealing with inheritance, perhaps, things dealing with what makes your family feel valuable. And we're not talking shallow ideas of value, like how much money am I getting from my family, or how little money, or how am I getting nothing from my family. We're not talking about it from this point of view. We're talking about the things that hold family together, like property. Property is a big thing for Uranus and Taurus. It's good to get those types of things in order. And that's not accurate for everybody. Not everybody is having to deal with something like that. But belongings, ownership, large sums of money, debt, all of that is going to be very tied in to what we're dealing with. People can also get a bit neurotic within these things as well. People can be over-focused on inheritance, or over-focused on assets or investments or property. You have to be kind of linear when you're dealing with fixed energy. You have to move through any obstacles or, question marks with a sort of linear mindset, like one step at a time. You can't get too overwhelmed and peripheral with things. And this is kind of complex. What do I mean by that? It's important to think, okay, let's just make an example out of this. Maybe I have inherited property or something, or maybe I stand to inherit property. There's debt or mortgage on this property. Rather than just letting that bounce around in your head like, oh my gosh, debt, mortgage, property, inheritance, la 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 la, and nothing happens and stagnation happens, it's good to get linear with things and move one step at a time. Okay, there's debt on this property. Now I go to the owner of the property or the family member and I say, okay, what do we do to fix this? Is this fixable? Is this resolvable? Is it good to liquidate this? Do we need, what do we need to do? Like questions are good. Keeping a smooth, even temper with everything. Again, this is Taurus energy. This is Earth energy. This is not like a very volatile energy line. Taurus is on the Scorpio axis, so Taurus can be volatile. But Taurus, one of Taurus's karmic ascension paths in life is to operate outside of volatility and to operate within, more secure, structured, emotional pretense. So anything that's coming up, whether this be inheritance, property, or just like the more material aspects of relationships, go one step at a time. Ask the important questions. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get over emotional. Don't get angry about things. So Uranus retrograde and anger, this is an interesting thing as well, moving out of the more material messages relating to this transit. Uranus has a strong connection, and all the outer planets do in a way, to anger and the way that we channel anger. If you're over angry during Uranus retrograde, this can come out in a weird type of OCD or neurosis. Again, Uranus rules the nerves of the body as well. It rules the neurons, the nervous system. So Uranus retrograde also, if we've not gotten things into order, can tax the nervous system a little bit. And it's important to be working on nerve health, not having huge volatile emotional reactions, because that's one of the most taxing things to the nervous system, with all of the neurotransmitters and the adrenaline and the endorphins. When they get overdone, it like burns out your nervous system a little bit. So having worked on the things which give you these types of reactions, getting them out of your life a little bit, moving on, evolving. Within the first month of Uranus retrograde, you want to be out of super volatile situations if you can be. The nervous system doesn't operate as smoothly in general for humanity during this time. So people with any type of health problems or any type of nervous system imbalances already especially will be most prone to seeing that. But everybody might just feel drained or fatigued or uncoordinated a little bit. But you can also do healing, and this is the great thing about astrology, is when you see a difficulty emphasized or highlighted, like, okay, Uranus is retrograde, we're going to feel a little bit OCD, or we're going to feel like our nerves are shot. Simultaneously, by having that energy line activated, provides to you the healing mechanism as well. So, wow, my nerves are really shot. Wow, I'm feeling really volatile. Through experiencing this, I'm actually given the answer of how to overcome this. This is the beauty of astrology. So for those of you who are having any of those more difficult side effects of Uranus retrograde, the answers are here as well. The solutions are here. It's another great thing about Uranus retrograde. We're really forced to see some of the solutions of our lives, to see some of the solutions of what we've been going through, what we're dealing with, okay? Any other messages coming up about Uranus retrograde? It's a great time for nourishment, okay? So Taurus is a sign of nourishment. It is a sign of giving as well, giving to yourself, giving to your body, growing stronger. It's all about getting more, getting stronger, being given to. So how can you reinforce that during this time? Make sure you're not starving yourself of anything. So not eating enough food, not eating enough nutritious food, not getting enough sunlight, not getting enough air, not getting enough water. These are all major no-nos for a Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And there's simple things too. For a more difficult sign retrograde in Uranus, so for example, like a Uranus retrograde in like Leo or something, we would be talking more along the lines of like not getting some type of narcissistic validation, or not getting some type of recognition for something extreme that you did, perhaps being like really pushed under and walked on by people. That's not what this retrograde of Uranus is about. It's about small things. It's about small acts of kindness towards yourself and others go such a long way during this time. Small efforts of supporting people. Oh my gosh, so good. So good to give people like support when you can. Of course, we're not talking like martyring yourself so that others can survive. We're talking, messages like telling people that you love them, telling people that they mean something to you, giving to others in an easy way that doesn't take from you is so karmically rewarding during this entire retrograde. And just seeking the solution. If there's anything out of whack in your life, use the next few months to ask the universe and affirm to the universe, okay, I'm not sure what's going on here. Can you help show me what's going on here? I would like to affirm that I'm ready to see what my solutions are, and I'm ready to implement healthy choices into fixing whatever, issue, financial, health related, relationship related, whatever it is. And those will really show up during a Uranus retrograde. And sometimes it's a bit more hard work than you expect, and you might feel a little bit neurotic when it comes to actually fixing it, but you can get the answers, and that's what really matters. So anyway, everyone, I'm thinking that's about my concluding point for this video. Thank you all so much for your messages of support, your comments, your likes, and your subscribes. I have a lot of new content coming out here on YouTube. I know that things have been a little bit confusing since I have been not posting the general readings, but they will be back eventually. I just have to get them to a point where it feels new and innovative to me. Uranus retrograde. I can't just keep doing the same boring thing over and over again. And I'm not saying that my readings were boring, and I'm not going to get all into the topic. My Astrology of Fear video has me getting all into the new format and everything, but plenty of new videos coming out on YouTube. Keep that subscribe button hit. And if you would like to go check out your general reading for the month of August, you can click below. They are available. They're just over on Patreon, so they're all available and all easily available. So that link is below. And I also have my new ebook called Moon Symbols, which will be coming out soon. If you guys would like to pre-order that, it's all about lunar healing, understanding your moon sign, the phase of the moon that you were born under, and how that relates to the rest of the planets in your birth chart. It's a really, really great, inspiring ebook that I've been working on for a few months now, and am currently finishing up. So check that out. It's super cheap too, only $14.99 for the pre-order. And we will be talking soon, everyone. Much love. Bye.